Good morning. It is the first day of July. And no, I'm not going to promise daily vlogging for those of you who are wanting me to continue. And I love that you want me to continue. I already feel like I'm going through withdrawals because I enjoyed it so much. So what I'm going to do is try and daily vlog on days that I can during my trip when it's feasible. And I will do as much as I can. And I'll do as many days as I can. I don't know what will actually end up happening. I'm not making any promises. If I end up daily vlogging every single day and have the time to edit every single video, that'd be great. I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's hard when you're on trips and stuff like that. You never know what's going to happen. And I still have so many books I'm working on and want to continue reviewing for you because I started them in June that I'm going to daily vlog when I feel like it. And today I feel like it. So today is a day where I need to pack because this is the start of my journey and I haven't packed yet. That's one of the problems with daily vlogging is I haven't done a lot of the other stuff that I need to do. I am going through some of my clothes. I'm probably going to do one more load of laundry and then just start getting everything packed. I have a long list of all the stuff I need to bring. And luckily I'm driving so I can fit it all in the car. And if I don't need it or don't need it right away, it's in the car. But I'm going to be gone for a month. So I just want to make sure I have everything I might need within a month's time. I don't have to be in Olympia till check-in at my Airbnb is 3 p.m. and I'm meeting my friend Natalie from Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe for dinner. Very, very excited. It's our first time meeting. I'm meeting her at 6 p.m. That's pretty much what I have planned for today. I don't think I'll be able to do too much reading aside from audiobooks. And the audiobook I'm currently listening to is Changeless by Gail Carriger. And this is a steampunk paranormal fantasy romance, which I just adore because it's clever and witty and silly and fun. The characters have a lot of witty banter. And our main character, Alexia, is soulless. Basically, she's the opposite of the werewolves and the vampires and all that. And she can kind of turn off their magic power by touching them. If you're a vampire and you're about to bite her, she could touch you and all of a sudden your teeth revert back to regular teeth and you're just a regular human. So that's what Alexia is. And she has this flirtation with the head wolf, the alpha wolf, McCon. He's this fun, sexy, Scottish alpha werewolf that is in charge of the BUR, which is the Bureau of Unnatural Registry. And the BUR is important for keeping the supernatural people, the werewolves, the vampires, the ghosts. He keeps them safe through regulation, investigations and stuff like that to see what's going on in certain situations. The BUR also enforces a lot of the regulations and the different things that not only keep the supernatural people safe, but also keep the regular non-supernatural people of London safe. That way, these laws that allow people to be vampires and werewolves openly within public don't get changed. The first book is called Soulless. I really enjoyed it a lot. And this is the second book, Changeless. I'm enjoying it. There are a few times that it has felt a little slow in the details. Like there's a lot of details, which adds to the nuance and adds to the fun of it. But I felt like it dragged a couple of times a little slower than maybe I felt like the first one did. It could be just me, but I've re-listened to the first 20% of it because it's been a while since I first picked it up. And I do feel like there were a couple of periods where it just dragged a little bit. It wasn't boring dragging, but it was like, was all that filler a little necessary? I don't know for sure. But I'm still loving it. And I still love these characters. They're just so funny. It just makes me crack up. And if I wasn't using the comfort book as my relax book for my summer book bingo, I'd probably use this one because it's just so fun to listen to. It feels very comforting. Okay, so just starting the packing process. I'm bringing tank tops and short sleeve stuff and cool but cute tops. And then I'm bringing a lot of dresses. I want to wear a lot of dresses on this trip. So I've got 4 here. I might grab another one. My dad says we're going to Disneyland because my aunt has never been before. She's never been to the US ever. So he wants to go to Disneyland. So I'm bringing a few things, not a ton, because I don't know for sure and I don't want to take the space. So I have my traditional Disney hat, which I got in 2011. And I'm going to bring that. I also have this baseball cap, which I really love. And I have ears, but it's going to be hot while I'm down there. So I figure a hat will be nice for shade. And then I've got this Loungefly backpack that I've never actually used before. You can tell because like this tag and stuff's still on it. But isn't that cute? It's my Robin Hood Loungefly backpack. I've got a little quiver. And on here it's got the little kiddos. And what's the inside look like? Oh, look at this. Isn't that cute? I do love Loungefly for the details. Oh, it's his hat and the little arrows. So that's what the inside looks like. So yeah, I'm going to bring that so that if I do go to Disneyland, if we do end up there, I'm representing at least a little bit. This one is opening finally. I've got so many buds on my geraniums and I'm going to miss all of them opening up. I mean, I'm excited for my trip, but I'm kind of bummed to be missing the blooming season. There's some starting back there. Where else? More here. I think there was some down here. Oh yeah, that one's just getting ready to open. These ones still look pretty though. And my annuals are going crazy. Looking all pretty. Gonna have to pinch some of these back. But mom's gonna be in, look at this one. And these little clovers are blooming like crazy. Finally, they're looking really happy. Here's all my physical books for the month. I might be missing some, I don't know. Oh, I gotta put Wuthering Heights in there. And then this is the theme of my trip, Julia Morgan, because I read this book. So I think I mentioned that elsewhere in another video, but I have themed my vlog because I am a nerd like that. I am a super nerd. No, I didn't theme my vlog. I themed my road trip. And because I read this book by Julia Morgan, who is really well known in California for Hearst Castle, like that's how I knew her best. And this is a beautiful home that's in San Simeon, which is the southern part of California. And I've gone to it a few times. And I bought this book while I was there to learn more about her. But what I didn't know about Julia Morgan is that she was the very first certified architect in the United States. She was the very first female certified architect in the United States. And she was the very first woman to be accepted into the architecture program at the L'École des Arts, the School of Arts in Paris. Her main drive in life was to be an architect and do her work. And that's what she did throughout her life. And she was really well respected for it. Maybe she didn't get recognized as much as she should have at the time, but she did get a lot of recognition. And she built over 200 buildings within California and some of the other states surrounding. Because the YWCA at the time was really trying to further women's rights and encourage women in the work field. So they hired Julia Morgan to be their main architect for all their YWCA buildings. And so she actually had a lot of opportunities because of the people she knew to build. And so she built a ton of buildings, and my goal is to see a lot of those. And in fact, I'll be staying at one in Berkeley. One of her buildings has been converted into a hotel. And at the end of the trip, Shell, Nathaniel, and I, my best friend Shell, her son and I, are going to be going to Hearst Castle. And that was the highlight of Julia Morgan's career because she spent so many years working on it. It was a huge undertaking, and she had a very picky customer. And she was a very discerning architect as well. So when things didn't go well, she was like, oh, no, we'll change it, we'll change it, we'll change it. Celebrating this woman, this amazing woman who worked very, very hard, and her architecture is still around today that we can see and enjoy. Filling up my snackle box for the road, I've got some nuts. I'm gonna add some Skinny Pop into this part, the long parts. And then I've got instant coffee, creamer, and I'm gonna bring this along with the nut mix in a separate bag so that I can replenish my snackle box as I need to. I'm not a huge fruit eater, but I will eat some tangerines, so I'm gonna take those. And I'm loving these yogis, so I'm definitely taking these plus some of these nut bars. Okay, so there is my top layer. My nut bars broken up a little bit. My yogis, popcorn, and some nuts. I do have a few Kinder Mini Buenos. I've got some Lindors, a few little of these peach and some mango sour things. I've got some gummy bears. I do have refills of these though, the blueberry yogurt pretzels, and then a few red vines. I've got a few more tucked back there. So that's my sweets section, when I need a sweet and I got to eat it sparingly because I don't have very many of them. And there we go. And if you have not discovered the healing powers of candied ginger for your stomach ailments, I hate candied ginger. I don't like it, but I take it because it like instantaneously cures my stomach problems. So if you have a lot of stomach issues, this might be a trick that you could try. It's gonna be really hot on my trip, especially in some places in California. So I'm bringing these little liquid IV guys because it's a good way to get some electrolytes in. I also get really bloated on car rides, so I'm bringing this massive water thing to fill up and drink as often as possible. Oh, bye-bye. All right, I've got everything, and I am heading out on my trip back to California, my home. But this is my home now, but that was my home. Even Isaac came out to say goodbye. Okay, so it's been a really great day. It's been a wonderful day. I was able to take my time. I mean, I was definitely actively packing this morning, throughout the morning, and I also worked on my vlog for day 29, so that way I could get that done before I went on my trip. And then I hit so much traffic. In fact, there were quite a few accidents I hit on my way here, which isn't surprising, but I didn't expect it to take as long as it did to get to Olympia. I was running late to meet with Natalie. And if you haven't checked out Natalie from Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe, I will link her channel down below. I've been following her since when she first started her channel because I knew her through Bookstagram, and she had been following my channel, and then she's got a wonderfully consistent channel. She has great content, great vlogs. She's also a wonderful person, and we had so much fun getting to know each other. We just sat, had dinner, and just chatted, and it was such a beautiful location too, so we got to enjoy the sunset while we ate food and got to know each other. But I mean, like, it's always a little strange when you first meet a booktuber because you feel like you know them so well because you've gotten to know them through their content, and a lot of us are very open with our content, and so you feel like you really know this person, and yet at the same time you've never met him before. So it's a wonderfully odd sensation, but it's also wonderful, and it was so much fun for us to just talk to each other. So then I came back to my Airbnb, and I'm now just relaxing, chatted with Mom for a little bit. I do want to get to some Wuthering Heights before I go to sleep. I'm currently, this is where I was yesterday, I'm currently on page 154. I might have read a little more. I did get to listen to a good portion of Changeless while I was driving today. I am 49% of the way through that one, and it's an over 10-hour audiobook, so it's a decent length. Loving some of the new characters that are being introduced in this particular one, and I will say that the first book was dubbed or tagged as a steampunk novel, and I didn't feel like there were a ton of steampunk elements in it. It did have some steampunk, but it wasn't a huge focus of the first book. The second book has a ton of steampunk. In fact, it's a huge aspect, and we're getting a lot of details about some of these contraptions or inventions or things that have that steampunk aspect to them. And they're kind of make-believe because, like, steampunk is based on ether and so much steam and making these different things that realistically would probably be impossible to make. Obviously, steampunk is not based on real science, but it's based on this idea of science and applying technology at this time, but it's done in a way that's more magical in a sense and based off the science ideas they had back then. And so I do think steampunk is very interesting. It's an interesting genre or subgenre, and I really don't know if I've read that many actual steampunk stories. I have definitely read the scientific views that scientists had at that time, and I can see how those have been inspiration for steampunk ideas, but I don't know how many I've actually read. Let me know in the comment section down below some of your favorite steampunk novels, because I don't know very many. So that'll be the audiobook I continue listening to tomorrow. And I have got to leave pretty early tomorrow morning because I'm meeting Margaret Pinard. And if you haven't checked out her channel, I will link it down below. I'm meeting her in Portland for breakfast. A late breakfast, but still, it's like a 2-hour, who knows how things will be with traffic tomorrow morning, drive to get down there from here. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see, am I gonna vlog tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.